What's up, puzzlers? Welcome to a new episode of Puzzle Master. And today we're going to be looking at the cast chain puzzle by Hanayama. Like all other Hanayama puzzles, it is a puzzle where you have to take the puzzle apart and figure out how to put it back together. And as with all other Hanayama puzzles, it is also made out of a cast metal, a zinc alloy, which is a very nice material to play with. And this puzzle comes in a nice, old, worn out looking finish to it, which adds to the aesthetic. This puzzle is a level 6 out of 6, which means it is the hardest grade that Hanayama offers. I would rate this puzzle a 7 out of 10, and the reason for that is because although you can use a lot of logic to solve this puzzle by analyzing the object, which I like, there is a random aspect to it as well, which just by jumbling around with it a bit, you may be able to fall upon some parts of the answer randomly, and so it lowers the difficulty for that just a bit. This puzzle took me about 30 minutes to an hour to solve, and like I said, it involves logic to solve it, which I like, and because of that I would rate this a 8 out of 10 in terms of how fun this puzzle is. And so if you want to go ahead and buy this puzzle yourself so that you can try it out, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can go ahead and buy that. And from here we'll get to the solution. So if you want to try it yourself, you can stop watching here. Alright, so the solution. Upon opening the puzzle, you come upon this nice material that is a cast metal, and so there is very little room to budge or move around. There's no moving parts in it, so there's not a lot of guessing what's inside like a puzzle box. And I like this type of puzzle because it's kind of like what you see is what you get. You see exactly what you're working with, and you can try to solve it just by looking at it and seeing what might need to be done. So these kind of puzzles are really fun for me. And so when you first open it up, you want to examine the puzzle and see what kind of clues are in the puzzle that you can use. And so you can automatically see off the bat that there are 3 pieces, and they are labeled with these dots, as you can see here. This one's 1, this one's 2, and this one is 3. And they have the dots on the other side as well. And you can see that they are somewhat identical, except there are slight differences. The one, for example, has a notch on the back here. So that's interesting. You can use that. The 2, more or less, is pretty symmetrical on both sides and is somewhat of the basic shape of these 3 pieces. And then the 3 is the same as the 2, except it has a notch there. So you would be able to use that as well. So when you first start off with this puzzle, you can automatically see that these openings here are too small for any of the pieces to go through. And so you're going to have to figure out another way for it to come off. And you can also see that you might have to unlink them by combining the 2 openings together. But you run into a problem every time when you do this, because there's always the other piece that's preventing you or blocking you from doing that. And so somehow you're going to have to remove this piece from the situation, as you can see. So how do you do that? You might think you might need to transfer this leg over to the inside over here so that you can do that. And if you think back to what we analyzed with the clues before, this notch here and this notch here seems like they might fit perfectly together. And so by connecting those two, you might be able to take the third piece off. And so the objective you might reach, you might think about reaching, is to somehow get this piece linked to this piece so that you can take the second piece off. And so how do you do that? At first, because you are thinking about the two openings, you might think you need to put, there we go. You might think you need to put the two openings together like this. And so once you get into this position, you might think, ooh, might be getting somewhere. But actually, this doesn't get you anywhere because you can't do anything in this position. Actually, what you eventually find out you have to do is you have to bring both pieces out in the original position like this and link them together this way. And so you can see, by having this piece in this cavity here, in this void, it frees you up to be able to twist them in this fashion to link them together. And so what's important in this situation is that you get the orientation right. In this case, you want the three dots here to be pointing upward to the one. If you do it like this, you get a different orientation and you end up making things actually harder for yourself, and it is the path to the wrong solution. It's also very important which piece is in front. So in this case, the 3 piece is in front of the 1 and pointing to the 1. Depending on how you put the puzzle back together, this is going to be different. But the important thing is to make sure that the notch matches up with the other notch. And so once you link them together and it looks like it's going to fit that way, that's how you know you did it in the right orientation. This is very important. The next step, once you have all 3 linked together in this jumble, is to unlink the 1 and the 2. And you do that in the same fashion by untwisting it like this. And because the 2 is exactly symmetrical, the orientation does not matter in this case. You can unlink it in any way you want. Now you end up with this situation here, where you have the 1 linked to the 3 linked to the 2. So it used to be 1, 2, 3, now it's 1, 3, 2. Once you have this position, you're pretty much almost done. You just have to link the notch with the other notch, and it must be linked just, if I can get it to focus here, it's going to have to be linked in this way. If it was facing the other way, it would be wrong and you wouldn't be able to get the 2 out. So it has to be linked exactly like this, where this step is lower than that step. And once you link it, it creates somewhat of a flat surface there. You can see that's flat. And so once you have that flat surface, this 2 can be removed just past it like that. And that 2 comes off. 1 was in the notch there. Once you have the 2 off, the 1 automatically comes off as well. And there you have it. That is the solution to the cast chain puzzle. It's a very nice puzzle. Gets you to think about what you have to do, and once you solve the solution, it's very satisfying. Now I'm going to show you how to reassemble the puzzle, because that is the second part of each Hanayama puzzle, and I'm going to show you that right now. So with this puzzle, once you disassemble it, it's pretty easy to reassemble again, because once you have the solution, it's not that hard to figure out how to do it. So you're going to get the 1 and the 3 and link them together first. And again, the orientation in which you solve it is very important. So in this case, you're again going to want the 3 dots to point upward with the 3 in front. And when you do that, you're going to want this flat surface here. I'm going to demonstrate what happens if you don't have the 3 in front. If you have it behind, you end up with this orientation where you're not able to get that notch in because you want it facing the other way. So we're going to put the 3 back in front. And there we go, now it's facing the correct way, so that that notch is in. Once that notch is in, you can put the 2 back onto the 3 as well. Now you're again in this situation where you have the 1, 3, 2. Once you're in this position, you link the 1 and the 2 together. Again, because the 2 is symmetrical, the orientation doesn't matter in this case. Sometimes it gets stuck, but you just need to jiggle it through. There we go. And then the last step here is, once they're all jumbled up together again, you just want to release the 1 and 3 together. And so again, the 3 is in front of the 1 and pointing to the 1. And so when you release that, you know that that is the correct orientation. You need to take it off again to solve it. And there you have it. That is the cast chain puzzle by Hanayama. I enjoyed this puzzle very much, and I hope you guys did too. If you liked this puzzle, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me out very much. And if you want to continue seeing more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. And if there are any other puzzles you would like me to solve and make videos of, please put it in the comments below. And please let me know if there's anything you liked about this video or disliked about this video, so that I can make better videos for you in the future. And so, till next time, happy puzzling!